and welcome to the University of Michael Tyack. I am Dr. Tyack. Well, why not? So I'm going to talk about the idea that the moon, what we see, is generated by a spinning mathematical cube. I'm not saying the moon isn't what we see, but I'm suggesting some sort of geometry and mathematics behind creation. So I'll just read you a little quote to start with from St. Augustine, an epigraph. Numbers are the thoughts of God. The divine wisdom is reflected in the numbers impressed on all things. The construction of the physical and moral world alike is based on eternal numbers. So this is a book by Frederick Bly Bond and Lee, and it's about gematria. And Frederick Bly Bond was the chap who was in charge of excavations at Glastonbury Abbey in the early 1900s. And he was also a psychic archaeologist. So, in this book, we have a 9x9 cube and the perfect stone upon which Christ builds his church, etc. So I was trying to find out the mathematics that would fit inside this 9x9 cube, and it took a little while, but I got it. And this is the cube which drives the moon, and it's also the cube which projects the Earth from the moon. Well, you know, unless you've got any better ideas, I'm just telling you what I found out. So, we'll have a look at this cube and how it's built. What it is, it's base 9. So, it's just the 9 times table. We have a kind of 0 point here, then 18, 27, 36, la-di-da. But because it's base 9, we can't include the number 9. So we can't have the number 90, and we can't have the number 99. So the next number we're allowed is 108. And we carry on. We can't have 189. The next number's 207. But you can see how these numbers start mirroring each other, the 18 and the 27 and the 36. So what I've done with this cube is these heavy red squares highlight any cell with 2 zeros in it, because that's actually 0207. And the lesser shaded ones just feature cubes or cells with only 1 0 in it. So this is showing the fractal symmetry. It's all symmetry throughout of what happens when you colour in the squares with zeros in. And okay, so here's one where I've coloured in the number 5s in a similar manner. And you can see we've got, it looks a bit like ribbons going round each. Well, they've got a lot. One of these are 8s. Okay. Any cell with an 8. Yeah, that's why there's 8 splattered all over here. But you can see that it's not, you know, particularly anything fancy until you spin it. And if I can do this, you'll see that excuse me. Not easy. Not easy. But you'll see that it forms a cone, and all these ribbons line up just into lines. So already, just by spinning a cube, we're changing what we see. So it's not too much to think, okay, well, maybe this could generate a sphere, but it's generating a cone. There you go. Now what gets interesting is when you start adding up all these numbers, there's 9 floors, and the very final number is 8883. So you kind of come in at 0 or 9, they're interchangeable, and you come out at the number 8883. Now, if anybody wants to double check this, I really would welcome them to. But I don't know if anybody in modern times has done this before, so it might need checking. But when you add up, like you do when you're a doctor, you add up every single number inside and you get to a total. $3,239,676. And now what we're going to do, just out of interest, is to find the average value of each cell. So if we take that number, 3,239,676, and divide it by 729, which is the number of cells, 9 by 9 by 9, we get an average for each cell, which is 4444. Good. Well, the 4444, this is your first 4. That's just a line. Here's your second 4. And that just gives us 2 dimensions. And your third 4 gives you 3 dimensions. But the fourth 4 turns it into a hypercube. So we could suggest that this cube, which I've called the cube seal, but you could call it the moon cube, it contains 729 hypercubes. But what we're going to do now, there's a peculiar symmetry around the opposite corner, around the 8883 corner. Now, anyone who's familiar or studies gematria, which was your homework, will immediately come across 888 as the number of Jesus in Greek gematria. And so I'm going to call this the Jesus tetrahedron, the Jesus corner, because along here we have the mirror of it, 3888. Then over here, 8838. And then finally, to complete this tetrahedron, 8388. So what we're going to do in effect is we're going to pull out this corner, which is a total of 56 cells, which incidentally is the number of Aubrey holes around Stonehenge, possibly connected with the moon. So we take out these 56 cells, and we're left with 2 different values. We're left with the sum of this Jesus tetrahedron, and we're left with the sum of what's remaining. So we'll have a look at those numbers. Okay, so out of our sum of 3, 2, 3, 9, 6, 7, 6, we're left with 2819718. 2819718. 2 million divided up. And the piece that we've removed comes to 419958. 419958. Okay, so what we're going to do, you divide by these magic numbers. You divide by the number we all love, 11, 11. And then divide by 54. And when you do it to this number here, you get 54. When you do it to this number here, you get 47. And when you do it to this number here, you get 7. So this is what I'm getting at. This 47 represents the moon, and the 7 represents the earth, because I think it says in the Bible that God made the earth in 6 days and he rested on the 7th. So he made it with hexagons. And I'll show you what I mean by that. If we go into one of the layers on the moon cube, this is in the 4000s, all these numbers, they all lie symmetrically and they appear in hexagons. And this is how our reality is built. Like for instance, you've got 4482, 4842. These are all different combinations. 4824, 4428, 4248, 4284. Anyway, you can see that they're making hexagons. So this is what they meant where he made the earth in 6 days and rested on the 7th. And you get the hexagons here as well. It's all hexagonal. This number 47, by the way, divided by 2 equals 23.5, which is what we see with the tilt of the Earth from the projection. We see the Earth's tilt at 23.5. So if you imagine the whole difference is 47, really, you just double it to get the full tilt. Just have a little pause a minute while you think about all this and while I think about it. Let's have a look. Okay, in the periodic table, element 47 is silver. Do we associate silver with the moon? Yep, we sure do. And all of these numbers, as you can see, making these hexagons, they mirror each other. And I will make this statement that any number like 47 can only exist alongside its mirror to balance it, 74, because it's going to make a mirror. And the sun and the moon, they're the same size in the sky. Well, they're mirrors of each other. So if the moon is 47 silver, then the sun is 74. And this was a lot of Frederick Bligh-Bond's work with number 74 and Glastonbury Abbey, a solar temple built according with dimensions so it would resonate with the sun. And Glastonbury Abbey was laid out on a grid of 74 feet, on 36 grids of 74 feet, making it a solar temple. And what else do we have? The Abbot's Kitchen, which is one of the beautiful buildings still surviving in Glastonbury Abbey. A lot of it was all pulled down as a quarry. This is the Abbot's Kitchen, and it's an amazing building with fantastic acoustics. And this is 74 feet high. So again, we see the number 74 as this is a solar device. So in the periodic table, element 74 is kind of what they make light bulbs out of, because it's bright and it shines, and it's tungsten. Okay. Well, have I given you enough for now? Well, there's a whole lot more to come, so let's have break time. Thanks.